So on to our wrens, our nice little bobbers, tiny little birds, but voices that you can hear for a long ways away. So our first wren is our house wren. These are the guys that love your little bird houses that you might hang from your tree. And they will nest in there. They will bring all their little sticks in and nest in there. They've got that tail that's always bobbing up. And again, nice, beautiful, beautiful songs. And then our Carolina wren, and much more rusty color brown, and that white eye stripe. And you usually hear them in the early spring with their tea kettle, tea kettle, tea kettle song as they're singing outside and out at your feeders. The very loud sound for such a small bird. Hummingbirds. And we, the only species of hummingbird that we get here in Ohio is the ruby-throated hummingbird. There are many, many species of hummingbirds in the United States, but here in Ohio, we only get the ruby-throated hummingbird. And that picture doesn't do justice, but it is a bright red, almost like a pinkish color throat on the male. And you can see in this photo how he's showing off his long tongue that he can put into a flower to get all the way down into that flower for the nectar. They're great pollinators, so having hummingbirds around in your garden are great to have as pollinators. And you can see that they're going to start coming back in relationship with when our flowers start blooming. And they talk about how our first flowers are dandelions and how we should not be so quick to try to get the dandelions out of our yards because they are the first flowers for our pollinators. And then our female, again, not as bright and flashy as the male, but definitely beautiful. I wanted to throw in a few warblers because I think that understanding migration of songbirds is so important to understanding our warblers. So warblers is a group of birds that are woodland songbirds that are migratory, and you can see that migratory pattern in the on the chart there. Now, the yellow warbler is a very common warbler here in Ohio and will stay and nest. We have quite a few of these at our Carlisle Reservation. If you ever walk the trail up by the wetlands, we have a lot of our yellow warblers that will nest there. They are insect eaters, which is why they're only here in the summertime. And again, being migratory, they will spend their winters down in Central America, South America, Puerto Rico, Florida, Bahamas. So they are definitely down south, but beautiful birds. This is another quite common warbler, the yellow-rumped warbler. They have yellow right underneath their wings, kind of call them like handkerchiefs there, and yellow right on the base of their tail. One of our favorite nicknames for yellow-rumped warblers are butterbutts. The palm warbler is one of the first warbler species to come through in migration, and they're ground feeders, and they have that nice rusty cap on the top of their heads. So beautiful little bird. The Blackburnian warbler is one of my favorites because of that bright orange patch underneath their throat, and they're just beautiful birds. You know, some of these birds, when they go through migration, you think about everything that they have to overcome if they're flying from Central America through Ohio and up into the boreal forests of Canada to nest. They're barely raising their young when it's time to turn around and make the trip back. There's a warbler called the blackpoll warbler, and when he returns back down to Central America, he goes out over the Atlantic Ocean and will fly for days without stopping. And he will stop, you know, before he goes out over the ocean around New Jersey, he will stop and eat so much, and he will increase his body weight by almost 3 times so that he can fly constantly along the ocean. And he takes those currents, the air currents that are provided over the ocean, and he just goes that way to get back down. And it's amazing how these birds can do these migration routes twice a year and come back each year. And our beautiful cerulean warbler, blue and beautiful, they usually are not seen as much as they are heard because they love to hang out at the top of the trees. And so they're treetop dwellers, and they'll sing up there, and they're getting bugs off of the leaves. And the reason they'll be up at the top of the trees is because when the sun first comes out, where's the first place that's warmed on the tree, and where are the insects going? They're going up to the top of the tree where the sun is hitting those leaves first, and will get the first bugs of the day. Our vireos. So this is a warbling vireo. They're here just in the summertime, a warbling sound, musical tones for their song, and very good insect eaters. Our red-eyed vireos, they're the ones that we hear sing in the summertime, and they sing, they just are singing constantly, all day long, right after each other. And they sing a song that sounds like they're saying, "See me, here I am, over here. See me, here I am, over here." And that song over and over and over again in the forest in the summertime, because you can see that they're here all summer long. Now, we normally don't see those red eyes because they're up in the trees, but nice to see an up-close view of a red-eyed vireo. And that's our beautiful white-eyed vireo. If you get a chance to see that up close, those beautiful white eyes are wonderful. Our raptors. How many have been out to Carlisle Reservation to the Raptor Center? Anybody been out there? Excellent. If you haven't gone, you need to come out and visit our raptors. We have animal ambassador raptors. These are animals that were deemed unreleasable by wildlife rehabilitation specialists, and they are housed at our raptor center as animal ambassadors since they cannot be released. So our raptor center is not a place that we can rehab necessarily the animals. Lake Erie Nature and Science Center is the place that does that. But we will take birds that have been taken care of at a wildlife rehabilitation center like Lake Erie Nature and Science Center, and they've said, you know what, we can't release them back in the wild, so they need a place to go. And so the Raptor Center is one of those places.